Mr. Bradshaw here. Mr. Tony Bradshaw. Working on using my first name. Hi, Tony here. I run and have the AddSomeToYourIncome.com site. Today's topic is how to sell something. I love the word sell. Sell is an old Scandinavian word and it means serve. When you have sold someone, you have served them. So to really serve, you need to ask yourself, what do your prospects need? What do they want? What is it that's going to give them the best service and that they will be sold? They will be served. When we know that definition of sell, then we can actually start looking at your product. Make sure you match your product. I did not match Comcast cable. I don't watch TV. I don't like watching TV. I lasted there for a few months selling door to door Comcast cable. Not me. Didn't match that product. What other product? This is where it gets really neat, where you can find items that people will want. I had someone say to me, it's less expensive to build a fence than to pay for an ambulance. Talking about if you live near a cliff. Well, if you live near that cliff, you go to your neighbors and offer to build them fences, and they will pay you. There's a whole argument about how an entrepreneur walks up to an economist and says, hey, I found $100 laying on the ground. And the economist says, oh, that's not possible. According to theory, the money wouldn't be just laying there. Someone would pick it up. Right? I'm the economist over here saying, yeah, well, that's not possible. Someone would just pick up those things. Well, who is it that picks them up? Those entrepreneurs. Yourself, maybe. Because you've observed and you've discovered things that are then going to be valuable to others. What have you sold before? I have a quick example. I made these trees, and then I realized they could be made into hats. I was crocheting them. That was something that was valuable. Now I have the pattern. I can sell the pattern. That's something that I'm good at. What is something that you enjoy that you can monetize? I wouldn't mind making that hobby of selling off the pattern. I'm not sure that I'd want to be obligated to keep making it, but the pattern itself I can sell to these pattern places. Step into the unknown of products as you go into that. Now, I do want to give you one little example from that. I was watching the Fred Rogers story, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, right? And he had a moment where what they were showing stopped working. It was live television, and he had to figure out what to do. And so he pushed a puppet through the background and had the puppet talk. And because he got pushed into that unknown, he became known for the puppetries that he did on his show. What is it that you're going to be? Now, a small word of caution about what you do to make money. You're not wanting it to be a hobby that you just enjoy for the enjoyment of the hobby. Even though you might make things, then others are like, hey, you could sell this on Etsy. You might not want to sell it on Etsy because you want to keep it as a hobby. That for me would be landscaping. I like landscaping. I like working the yard. I don't want it to be what I get paid to do. Not even as a second job during the summer as a teacher. It's just I want to enjoy it as being able to do landscaping. It would appear that this got stuck for a moment, so let's see if I can fix it and present. I don't want to present from the beginning. I would rather present from where I'm at. Oh, that's not what I want to do either. Maybe not. Okay, let's see what happens. What price? Let's see if it'll go to the next one. How to sell something, part 2. I'll need to splice these videos together, I guess. Somehow, we're running into small technical problems. And here we go. What price? The big thing about price is that you buy wholesale, you sell retail. When you're buying things, I remember when we were running the farm when I was young, and we had the cows, and we got to a point where we would buy when the market was low, and we would sell when the market was high. And then we started to see significant increases of the revenue for the cattle. That's what you want to do. You want to know what's valuable, and the location is a part of whether it's valuable or not. I know a story of rocks and how the rocks, there was a rock collector who had these rocks, and he sent his son with a rock because the son was like, how do I know how valuable it is? He said, take it down to the local flea market. At the flea market, he holds up 2 fingers, and the person offers $2. He's like, all right, now go over to the university and offer it to the professor. So he goes to the professor, holds up the 2. Professor says, I'll pay you $200. Then he's back. He's like, why would you offer $200 when they offer 2 at the flea market? He said, no, wait. Go across town. Go to my friend, the other rock collector. Same thing. So he goes across town, holds up 2. And the rock collector says, I'll pay you $2,000 for this rock. The son is very confused. How is it that one rock in the flea market can be $2, at the university, $200, and then in the hands of a rock collector, $2,000? Because of the location. Know what your price is because you're putting yourself at a location where it's valuable. Test out your title. I read about a book that had a title that did not sell. Not at all. And then they changed the title to be Perfect Read for the Little Room, and all of a sudden it sold millions of books. Instead of the summary of 50 stories, it was Perfect Read for the Little Room. And all of a sudden, millions were sold because of a new title. Test out your price. There was an ad that was running saying you could make $50,000 by Christmas. Very few people. So they realized it was too high. It was too much. The number was too big. They couldn't believe it. So they changed it to 20,000, and lots of people could believe that. I believe I can make 20,000 by Christmas. And they started to call on the ad. Become the master of your craft. I remember being at a rodeo and watching the bull riders. This is the very end of the rodeo. Now, the announcer for the very last bull ride, I'll be honest, I wasn't there, but my friend who watched the very last bull ride, because I was one of those ones trying to get home. I was late, young kids, bull riding. Once one cowboy got stepped on, it was like, okay, let's take you kids out of here. Anyway, last rider, the announcer says, if he rides the bull for 8 seconds, he'll receive $20,000. He comes out of the gate. 1,000, 2 1,000. You can imagine the crowd cheering him on. 3 1,000, 4 1,000. He's getting bucked around and spinning. One of those bulls that night had spun around so much the bull got dizzy and was couldn't walk. They showed it in replay, right? We're all watching these riders. And there he's going. 6 1,000. 7. He's doing it. The crowd is going wild. 8 seconds. Buzzer goes off. He did it. He made $20,000 in 8 seconds. I'm struggling as a teacher to be like, that's almost my year's salary in 8 seconds. I had to think through this as an economist and realize, no, he'd mastered his craft. When you master your craft, you become a master of what you're doing. You will see an increase to your income. You do you. You get out there. You be yourself. You are valuable. You need to share the things that make you laugh, not the things that make other people laugh. What are the stories and the pictures, the jokes, the metaphors? What is it that you have observed that really gets you? Share that by touching with more than one of the senses, and you'll really be connecting with the people because you're being yourself. This is Caitlin Kirby. She decided to make her skirt for her PhD dissertation be all the rejection letters to her idea. And stood up there. She even had more rejection letters than she used on making this double layer skirt. Just to make a point about how she kept trying. For me, that's a big example of when you see yourself successful, you'll make it there. How to sell. Here's a system. MOBS. Each one stands for something. So the M stands for market. Make sure you are marketing and at the right market. Opinion matters. You got to know your product. You got to know that it's valuable. How did that be that it's worth $2,000? How to be at the point that you're getting the $20,000 in 8 seconds is that you're willing to know the blemishes, the mistakes. You've watched videos of yourself riding on that bull. You have figured out what other people do. You share those blemishes. You share those experiences. You're real. You have a story that's connected to you and how you connect with this. Remember, me and Comcast didn't match. I might have been in the right market, but my opinion matters, and I don't like the product, so I didn't sell it very well. But as you go into the buyer buys an experience, as you give them that story with more than one set of senses, if you wrap them in with all of the examples that helps really get them to the close, they are not just buying the product or the service. They are buying the story. They are buying the experience. They're buying the value that you are giving to them. MOBS, mobs. You're going to have mobs of sales when you do it. Now, I will say, sell your ship, and then your shipment can sell. Get the work done, get the investing done, have your focus, and then off into the ocean on the date you plan, no matter what the weather is. Go do it. I'll end with this image right here. This is a fire hydrant outside the school here. And this fire hydrant, once a year, they come around and open it up and let the water out, which is kind of cool. I talked with the guys about it, and they have to turn it with a lot of strength to get it open. The big bolts on the fire hydrant, really big bolts, have been tightened down to a certain amount of pounds per pressure, right? Pounds per inch or whatever. They have to use the same amount of pounds per inch to loosen it. This is on any type of thing that you tighten down. So as you tighten, as you then try to loosen what you're doing, you have to have that same amount. It's called torque. Torque is that amount of pressure that it was tightened with in order to... You could be pushing at 99 pounds and you need 100 and you'll never get there. I say keep on keeping on. Keep doing the selling. Know that you're going to get this to work. It is high time that it works for you because you put in that one more little piece of effort. You sell the ship. You have all those rejection letters like Caitlin Kirby, and you still move forward and find the sell because you find the buyer who's buying the experience and you become successful. I look forward to seeing you on the other side.